We are live in Unicorns Rising. I'm so excited. Good morning, everybody. I'm here with Lora Anne. I just want to make sure we're good. If you guys can, if you're popping on and you're with us live, can you let us know? Because I'm using a different format than yesterday, which I'm super excited about. So we're on, that way you can see us more clearly, and I can hopefully see the comments as they come in. So if you're here, please say good morning, happy Friday, drop a comment, give us some love and hearts so that I can just know that this is working properly. But I just want to say happy Friday. Welcome everybody to the next episode of Faith Talks. I'm super excited for Lora Anne this morning because, you know, if you guys have been catching the replays or seeing what this is all about, the Faith Talks are really just chats, talks in faith, but also seeing how faith speaks when we talk about it out loud and how it's played roles in so many different ways in people's lives, because faith is not always connected. Like you'll hear today from Lora Anne, I'm super excited because it's not always connected to religion. In fact, I think most times it's not connected to religion. And she's going to share how she came into faith and how she's still growing and evolving in faith through darkness and hard times, and how she uses it every day as a tool to keep pushing herself forward in her life, not only spiritually, but in life in general. So I'm so excited that you're sharing this with us. And I want to welcome you and just say thank you and share away. I mean, whatever you want to share, your story. And then if anybody has questions, I'm an open book. Lora Anne is a super open book. Ask questions below. If we don't see the comments pop up as we're going along, then we will definitely answer them after in the group. So please don't be shy. Say hi, give her some love and encouragement, ask the questions that are burning deep inside of you. If it resonates with you in some way, please let us know that. And if you have someone that you think that this topic would resonate with, add them to the group, tag them in this video. And again, we just want to thank you for spending an hour or so with us this morning. And thank you for watching the replay if that's what you're doing today too. So without further ado, I welcome a friend and spiritual coach, Lora Anne Strong, to Unicorns Rising. Let us know what your story is. Tell us everything.
I will. I am a little nervous. I've been on Facebook in my private groups doing a lot of readings. I'm going to read something to you guys today before I sign off, but bear with me. I'm going to try to stay on point and not get too sidetracked. I am Lora Anne Strong. I am a woman's empowerment coach. I also facilitate local workshops, hold space for women that are wanting to empower themselves, women that are stepping into their truth, women that are healing. So it has been an amazing journey. And I will start a little bit, I guess, with my experience with religion. And as a child, real quick, it was just like going to church, I think Lutheran church, and I never really felt anything. I never felt connected. I just went through the motions. And all I can remember then was feeling and being told, you know, I was living in fear that if I do wrong, that God is going to punish me, and that I will go to a really dark place. So that was my experience. And moving forward, I think the first time ever I felt connected to a God, to a higher power, was, I don't want to cry already. Jeez. I was in, when I got sober, was in the rooms. And that is truly when I felt some kind of connection and faith and something outside myself in a group full of people drinking coffee from styrofoam cups and smoking cigarettes outside. That is truly where I started feeling the presence of God in my life. So again, my story, I can go way back, but I'm going to start right after my divorce. And that was a really dark time because I initiated the divorce. And there was a lot of guilt and shame thrown at me. I threw it at myself. I was basically living in fear. I had a lot of guilt and shame and the victim story. Like, I set up shop. I pitched that tent and it felt comfortable. And that is where I lived for a very long time. Honestly, when I was in it, I couldn't say until like fast forward and I'm here and I'm doing some work and I look back and I'm like, yeah.
That's a lot of people, honestly. I mean, that resonates with me. I think it's easy to play that victim role. It's easy.
Right. And I know I had some people that would tell me, oh my gosh, you think you're a victim? Like, oh my gosh, no, I don't. Please stop it. Like, I did. Now, there were some things that it was just things were just like snowballing. You know, some were my choices, some were out of my control. And I got back in the dating world just because I was divorced and I just went through the motions. Did I really want to date? Was I ready? No. But I thought that I was going to find my soulmate. I was going to find that person that was going to fix everything, that was going to show my ex that I'm worthy, that I am not guilty. It would get rid of my shame. I was engaged twice after my divorce. Now, it was like over a 10-year period. Had this big rock on my finger. I thought like that was going to fix everything. Of course, it didn't. It was just all for the wrong reasons. I was just looking for healing. I was looking for something outside of myself to save me, to fix everything. So basically, that's how it was. And my son was approaching the teen years, going down a wrong path. I blame myself because I was divorced. And I had also a lot of shame around being in a smaller home because I was in a big house. I never had to look at a bill. I was just stay-at-home mom and I was just taking care of my mom. I know all of it had to happen. I know it all had to happen. And I would not let people come to my house because it was too small. I would apologize to people and say, oh, my house is so small. My house is so small. One day I woke up and I had my basement flooded. No, I believe, yes, that was my higher power. That was God saying, okay, Lora, you said your house is small. Well, we're making it smaller. Now you only have the upstairs, like apartment style living. The downstairs was flooded, thousands of dollars of debt to fix it, make sure there's no mold. I had so much shame around that. I wouldn't let people go downstairs because it was like I created this flood. It was shame. I don't know. And yeah, I lost my way. I had faith before and I just I had all these books on my beautiful bookshelf, my AA books. I started drinking again when I got back in the dating world because you can't throw a shy, introverted person in the dating world without alcohol. And I'm not saying that's the way, but that's what I did. So all my spiritual books, my AA book, all of that, I remember going to bed at night. I wouldn't even look in that direction. I didn't even want to look at those books, but I felt a pull. I felt some type of pull. So fast forward, a lot was going on with my son. I had to get out of that space. I wasn't really ready to do any work, but I knew I needed to get out of there physically. I sold the house, came here, and I want to tell you, just being in a different space was healing in itself. It was the start of this journey, and I was being pulled, and I didn't know really what it was, but I was just putting one foot in front of the other, little baby steps, and trying to believe again. And it was hard. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to stay in the victim story. I wanted to stay drinking all those comfortable things, right? I wanted a relationship that wasn't healthy for me just because it's comfortable, right? And then we don't have to do any work. So what I needed to do was focus on myself because I was very codependent. At this time, my son was in a rehab. And I was super, super codependent with him. If he was happy, I was happy. And of course, that isn't healthy. So I signed up for a competition that I thought about doing for years. Like 10 years ago, I thought I was too old to do a fitness competition, figure, physique. I did bikini just because that was easiest. I wouldn't have to get really, really lean.
Right.
Yeah. So I signed up. I went for it. I grabbed a hold of whatever little bit of faith that I grab a hold of. I still had the fear, but I put one foot in front of the other. I trained every single day, 16 weeks. I ate the same thing every single day. I was in the gym every single day, posing, training. That dedication grounds me. The gym was always like a church to me, not just so much my body, spiritually.
Yeah.
I think I found God there. I would actually cry sometimes during my workouts when I was going through what I went through with my son. And in a relationship, I would like cry. It was just like very spiritual. So I knew that I had to do this competition, not so much to have this lean, spray tan body.
That's a perk.
It gave me pieces of myself back. I brought home a few trophies, but I brought home a piece of myself. And I started having faith again in something. You know, I wasn't sure, but I knew one thing. I was being pulled. I was being pulled forward after the competition. That was in December 12th, 2015. I got sober again. Alcohol was slowly leaving my body. You're not supposed to drink during the training. I think I drank twice in 16 weeks. But I knew in order to get to where I was going, I needed to let go of alcohol. Mm-hmm. I knew that I couldn't rise. I knew that I couldn't shine. I knew I wanted to work with other women. That was a depressant. It didn't serve me. It didn't serve me. I had a history of alcohol abuse. And again, I was sober like 13 plus years, drank again after my divorce. So 2015, I let go of it completely. See, if you have people as an adult, if you have a drug or alcohol problem, that's one thing. But when you see your children in rehab struggling, that's a whole different world, because you got to go to the family programs and you've got to look at yourself. So that piece, I let go of that piece. And then again, like I said, I was being pulled. And I just went on faith, and I just kept walking forward. And I got certified as a spiritual coach and got other certifications. And I just kept moving forward. Saw Spirit Dunking Masterclass. I'm like, I can't afford this. I invested in it. I found a way, and I just kept being pulled. Like it wasn't even a plan. Like, oh, I'm going to be a life coach, and then I'm going to have workshop. It wasn't a plan. It was just, there was a pull. I knew sobriety had to be a part of that. And I just did it. Like, just, that's it. I'm done. Not saying it was easy the whole time. It wasn't. But I was just following this faith, this pull forward. And I work with other coaches, Andrea, and then a few other courses. And then I'm in a place right now where I could look back at that darkness. So I know, like, it had to all happen because my sobriety even back then looked different than where I am today, because it had to shake me up. It almost stripped me of everything. You know, that flood in the basement, the big house that I thought was my worth, the big house, the big diamond ring I had to get. It stripped me of everything. And I had to just really come back to spirit, come back to self, come back to that light. Because when I was in that dark place, Monique, that light was still there, but it was dimmed, and for a lot of different reasons. And I know all of that had to be stripped away to bring me to where I am today.
I think that your story resonates with me so much personally, because I had something very similar happen, and not as far as like addiction, all that stuff. I'm also sober. But that for me happened, it's kind of same thing. It was, looking back in hindsight now, it was a greater plan for my path and my purpose. But it's interesting because I also had my entire life stripped away from me, like literally everything. Like at one point I had no car, I had no house, I had nothing. When I had all the nice things, I drove a Mercedes, a brand new Mercedes. I had all the nice clothes. I had yet for me, the success, as a single mom, I always had to prove myself because I was a single mom. I raised my daughter on my own. I had a really great job that I made great money in and drove fancy cars and went to all the best places. And, that was my worth. And then tragedy happened. And, if you know my story or not, we were survivors of home invasion robbery. And that took literally stripped everything away, every single thing. We had no home. We were homeless. I had no car because I lost my job because I went into a depression, like literally lost everything and had to start from square one. And those moments of having no job, of having not my own place to live, it was coming. The only thing left I had to choose was faith. I had nothing else to choose anymore. And it's insane to think, when you're in it, like you're saying, like when you're in it in those moments, it's like all you can do is keep taking the next step forward. You have nothing else to do unless you choose, like, we were talking yesterday, in the interview yesterday, you can choose to die, like Katarina was saying. Those are your choices. You want to, take yourself out of this life completely because it's so dark and so bad and so scary and the fear can just take over, or you can choose faith. Literally, we have two choices every day. That's it, right?
To check out, true. There was a point where after the flood, after everything that was just like with my son, it was just so dark. I remember laying in bed and I had all this debt and like the house is falling apart. Like, okay, water pump's going. This was like, okay, I couldn't catch my breath. And I remember laying in bed, crying, praying. And I really kind of stopped praying, but I was praying. And I didn't know what I was praying for. I was like praying for money. I was praying for a way out. I was thinking this thought, maybe everybody will be better off without me because I am just like this, miserable, yucky victim. And just like, I never had a gratitude journal then. I have one now. And I'm like, thank you for the sun. Thank you for, so yeah, I know it like it was shaking me up and I had a purpose and it led me to where I am today. And just 3 weeks ago, I was led to do this community service and I was toying with the idea, like, yes, I want to. I've always wanted to give. And when I was financially set and I never had to worry about a bill, I didn't even know what the electric bill cost. I didn't see those things. I would always do community service. But I'm thinking, I really shouldn't now because I got to work. I've got clients. I've got to work. This is not bringing in money. And then something just stopped me in my tracks. It is to work at and I worked at a pregnancy center, a pro-life center years ago when my kids were little. And I was led to the center. I was led to it. I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to make money. But I've always I've always wanted to give back in some way, and I have. So I trained last weekend, and
that's incredible.
This is like fundraising, maybe writing grants, helping women that are single moms find housing. So I'm
like pieces of you, right? Like pieces of where you were in little.
Oh, I went to a pregnancy center. With my second child, and a woman there was pro-life, and of course they don't want you to terminate. And I was like, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. And she said, "Come in, and I'll read the Bible with you." I'm like, "Oh, great." This is not going to give me any money. I'm thinking, money. I need her to fix it, right? She's like, "I want to pray." I'm like, okay. So she's reading the Bible. She's praying with me. She gives me a bag of maternity clothes. she said, come back, give you baby clothes and we'll help you. And I went through with the pregnancy. And so I'm there being pulled, and I'm going on faith, right? I know this is my purpose on all of that. And I've told you about, like, I'm being pulled and I'm answering the call and I'm going to do it. Yes.
I love that so much, because what I see in all of these talks and all of these stories that we're sharing, and in myself in general, but I love seeing it in other people and seeing how it blooms. But it's when we choose, because we were talking about this before we jumped on live, right? Like, it's easy and comfortable to continue to choose fear because it's what we know, because that's what the world breeds in us, right? Like in social media and news and TV, like fear is bred in our society, in the world in general. We are bred to live and run in a fear-based mentality.
Yeah.
And so we adopt that in our life. And so it's easy to choose that. It's easy to choose the victim role. It's easy to choose the fear. It's easy to choose that because it's comfortable and it's what we've known the majority of our life. If anyone watching this, if this resonates with you whatsoever, like choosing fear on a constant, it's much easier. It's like our go-to, I think. Like, comment below, say yes, me too, because how many times has that been you? It's been me many times. It's easy. It's almost like you don't think about it. We instantly just move into fear. And we have to stop and check ourselves and step back and say, I'm not going to choose fear this time. I'm going to choose faith and love this time, and then take the next step in that direction. And seeing, as I keep talking to you and talking to everybody else and just seeing it in my own life, seeing the difference of what comes out of it when we have the two roads to choose from, and we keep choosing fear and we keep choosing fear and we keep choosing fear. And it's like, it wrecks our life and it takes us nowhere. It's like, we think we're going in a direction. We think we're pushing ourselves forward, but we're going in this big circle, right? Of like this fear circle. We're just walking this little path of fear. When we choose faith and love over that, instead of that, it takes us in this direction. Like, yeah, we don't know what's going to happen next. And I think fear is a big thing of control too, because when we work out of fear, we think we're controlling the situation. We think we know how to make it better. We think we know what we're going to do best. But when we choose the faith and choose the love, which isn't our path, it's our true nature. It's what our spirit really wants us to do, right? But we're not comfortable in that because we don't have control over it. The beauty that comes from that, the things like this that you're saying, that you're volunteering to help change lives in a massive, impactful way for complete strangers in your own community, that's incredible, because you never would have been doing that if you would have stayed stuck in your fear-based pattern of living, right? I mean, it's incredible, incredible. You couldn't even imagine, could you have even thought that that would be something that you'd be doing? I mean,
no, in the past, like I said, when I was married and comfortable, I always wanted to give, and it was convenient, and I didn't have to worry about finances, right? So I went, and after the divorce, I was just like running around in circles. I was just living, I was truly, because of the guilt and the shame, I was living in fear. I was living in fear. Also, which is really important, is I didn't believe that I was worthy of an amazing life, because I ruined a family. And that is what I lived with. And I was told, when you hurt somebody and it happens, that's what I was told. That's what I believed for the longest time. That locked me in fear, that I would not be happy. I was not going to be worthy of having the amazing life or abundance financially or anything. That has been a huge part of my transformation. And I work with women and help women, hold space for women, and tell women that they are worthy. You're worthy of an amazing life. I don't care what path you walk, addiction, what dark alley, what divorce, mistakes you've made, Yeah. So I believe truly, and I'm still working on it, because like I said, with my religion, as when I grew up, that was just kind of this surface thing. I'm finding my faith today, and this journey.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I think faith is an ever like next step. You know, it's like always like we have to take a next step in faith because it's easy to choose. It's easier to choose fear. It's what we know. And yeah, we're constantly, I think the faith is like the biggest work in progress in my life for sure. Especially when it's big things or, you know, impactful, like financially and stuff like that. Like, yeah, we do have to, you know, look and say, but knowing that it has a greater purpose, that it is for your greater good and growth and the greater good of those around you in the world. It's incredible. And there's people commenting and saying that they agree with the fear pattern and then that it's easier to choose fear over faith, that, you know, they're saying like, yes, me too, me too. What would you say has been the most helpful for you just in general? Or what do you tell your clients or just friends or people that you talk to help people, you know, start recognizing that they're choosing fear, you know, sometimes in life and moving into choosing faith over fear so that they can keep taking those next steps in a faith pattern rather than getting themselves out of a fear pattern?
Yeah, I mean, I basically help them really honestly, first and foremost, when they start believing that they're worthy. There are a lot of women that I've worked with don't believe that. Didn't believe that from trauma, from abuse, right? From their own addictions. That I think is like the foundation, believing in themselves. Because when they have that, then I have seen from my life, I've seen from clients of mine, that light burning again inside and not giving up, believing in themselves, even if it's baby steps. Yeah. Hey, you know, I love myself. I can start loving myself. I can start loving my body again, whatever, if they're losing weight, you know. I think it's that to me is the foundation that, you know, and having faith, whatever their religion is, their spiritual, whatever their spiritual journey is, having that. But because if we don't like ourselves, we don't believe in ourselves, I don't really think that we're good to ourselves, right? We don't know how to love ourselves. And that has been a huge part of my journey, is to love myself again, coming back to self, loving myself because of making mistakes, because of the divorce, because of the guilt and the shame. I turned all that on me and I was harming myself. I wasn't liking myself. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it absolutely does. And I think that that resonates. I think most people feel unworthy, men and women in general. I mean, it's just in general. And again, it comes all back to like things. Yes, there have been, I'm sure, circumstances that make us feel that way, things that have happened to us or in our life, or even just in like family legacy. You know, we could be raised in like a really poor family and feel like I'm not worthy of anything.
Yes.
What my family, I mean, it could be so many different circumstances. And then on top of all that, we have what the world's worth is supposed to be, right? Like telling us how we are to be worthy and how we need to look to be worthy and what we need to have to be worthy. And all of that built and poured onto us in conjunction with whatever our own baggages, our own personal baggages. It is, like you said, it's dimming the true light and our true nature, which is love, which is the God who created us, the creator, whoever you believe your higher power is, that created us, right, to be this beautiful, bright, shining light, no matter what circumstances are thrown at us, like no matter what we have to go through. And I think, like you're exactly what you're saying, the second we start, removing those layers, I call them lies. They're all lies. Like it's all bullshit. So, you know, when we can stop buying into the bullshit and get through that and peel back into the truth, that flame starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, where soon, like you are this shining, beautiful, brilliant light that's changing the world. Like literally you're changing lives in the world, which is so, I mean, I got chills saying it, because knowing what your story is, knowing that you had a choice, we all have a choice to allow our circumstances, to allow life to diminish that light and that flame, or we can choose faith and love and just get through it and take that next right step and really just be the light that we are called and meant to be. And it's really, as simple as it sounds, it really is that simple. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it takes work. Yes, it's a constant self-reflection every day of like, what is my next right step? But it's the most like amazing, beautiful life that we could ever live. I mean, all of that crap that we had to go through, exactly what you just said, we have to go through it so that we can show other people we can go through it, we can get through it, and we can still live the life of a beautiful abundance, and abundance like beyond what we could even, beyond our wildest dreams, abundance in all areas of life when we take those next right steps, when we choose the faith and the love over the fear, no matter what darkness has happened. It's incredible.
Yeah, and what blows my mind is I try not to go back, you know, I try not to live there, but I don't even recognize that person anymore. It really blows my mind. It's like there's a whole different being inside of this body now. Sure, I've got, you know, things I'm still working on, and this whole evolution and what you were talking about in faith is very similar to someone in recovery, right? Shedding layers and becoming new and whole and believing in your higher power. I feel like there's a whole different being inside of me today, because I wake up today. Again, life isn't perfect, but I look for everything to be thankful for, and I'm happy. And I don't have that big diamond, and I don't have that mansion anymore. And I didn't win $1 million, but I'm happy. And sometimes almost it confuses me, like,
me too.
What? Why am I so, I'm living in faith, yes, and love, and not in that victim story and fear any longer. And I'm trying, yes, and I'm making a difference, and I'm being pulled, and I'm answering the call. And it just, it does blow my mind, because I can't even recognize that person 4 or 5 years ago.
I am so seriously, it's just like, it's crazy to hear you say that. And then I see myself in that, because I was the same way. I mean, I'm truly like, I don't even recognize myself. And I even think like people who've known me since I was little, like friends, you know, not just family, but people who've known me forever. I mean, I was mean. I didn't even realize I was mean, but like my best friend since I was 5, she was like, Monique, you were really mean, and I was really scared of you. And this is like my best friend. And I'm like, I didn't even know I was that mean. And now people who know me, who only know this Monique, it's like a completely different person. And it's two separate people. Like, I used to want to shop, spend money on all, because it's like going back to what you said, like, I know my true worth now. And it has nothing to do with like worldly possessions, or sure, I still like nice things. I enjoy nice things. Like that's not wrong. I'm not saying that we all need to live like Mother Teresa in a hut. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that whatsoever. I like nice things, but that does not define my worth. And it used to define my worth.
Yes. I see you today. I can't even imagine you being mean, but you hit on a really good point. Don't you think that, and I was like that right after my divorce, because I felt like, oh gosh, you know, why did God do this to me? I initiated the divorce and stripped me away from that house and all that. And you're living in fear. You're also living in anger, right? I wasn't joyful. I wasn't happy. And there were moments of it, but when you're living in that, and the guilt and the shame, and then the victimhood, there's anger there. You feel you're a victim. Who did this to me? Why is this happening? Why don't I have all that money? All that stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy, but it's so, again, even that I think is hugely important, that we had to be that person, because how much more am I grateful and aware of what really living is and how it feels. So I'm so much more free. Like, I am literally so much more free to love and be loved, like allow myself to be loved and to know my worth and share that, than I was having all the things, because it was never enough, right? So knowing our true worth is like more than enough. I'm so humbled. Literally this morning I was crying because someone was sharing their story with me on how, like, God was speaking to her through a message. And I'm literally crying. Like, that is it didn't even happen to me, but to see it happen to other people, knowing that is like literally enough, that I'm so loved. We are all so loved in the most like purest, deepest love ever, that nothing else matters. And for me, that's enough. Like, it's so incredible to know that and to feel that. And I know that that's why we do what we do now. That's why we have to share these stories, because we were all the people that are watching. We are all the people that are still going through this and still confused and still lost and still hurting and still not sure of what their worth is. And, Lora Anne and I we do this because we want you guys to know we've been there. We were you. We still struggle sometimes and we still work through it all, but we know the other side, and we've seen the beauty and the abundance and the amazingness of what true faith, true love is. And there's nothing like it. There's nothing, no fancy anything can compare to like what this knowing is. Nothing.
No. And you're right. It's like coming on the other side, like, of this storm. Not saying there won't be any more storms in life, but I didn't have any tools back then. My tools were, relationships and alcohol, and what is somebody going to buy me, and what is somebody going to do for me, and me and me and me. And my cup wasn't full enough, and there was never enough. And I knew, yes, I had to go within. I had a bumper sticker on my car when I was married. I remember my ex used to make fun of it because he wasn't like into yoga. And the bumper sticker said, "Begin within." Mm. And after all of that, yes, I know I went, and my second course is about coming back home, coming back to self. That's been my journey. Things were stripped away. I wasn't homeless, and I know people had it worse off than me. But a few things were just like stripped from me, and it had to be. And for me to go, okay, this is, you have to face yourself, Lora. Nobody's going to fix you. Nobody's going to buy you a Mercedes or another huge home. That's not going to do it. And then the 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th and 2 bottles of wine aren't going to do it. Yeah. So it has been truly, what amazes me is I didn't have a plan to do this. Truly. I was a personal trainer for women in a gym. I always cared about what I looked at externally. I was bulimic. I had serious years ago anxiety, panic attacks, panic disorders, sexual abuse in my life, all of it. And I was a massage therapist, took yoga teacher training, loved oils, all of that. I know that was my journey, though I wanted to help others. And getting sober, it was me coming back to me, right? Coming back to me through all of that trauma and stuff. And I'm thankful. I'm really thankful because I'm able to share my story, work with women, and I can wake up today through all that, be thankful, like I'm alive and I have this amazing life with my dog. And yeah, it just, I don't want to go on and on, but yeah, it's just like I had to throw that in because it's been like, it felt like an uphill battle to get back to me, to that light. And I had faith along the way. And like I shared with you before we went live, I didn't know what I was really holding on to. I didn't know, but I was grasping on to something to walk on that stage, like, almost like naked in front of everybody to write down in their little notebooks and judge me for all my work. It was coming back. It was really a way for me to come back to me and strip everything off, right? That was it.
Beautiful. I love it. I'm so grateful for your story, for sharing this, for really speaking out and empowering others to be able to really come back to themselves and figure out how to get that light shining again and brighter and brighter and brighter, and just continue taking those next steps in faith. So Robert loves the quote, begin within. I was thinking, I love it too. You should totally make a shirt out of it. Like that is so,
Yeah.
do it, girlfriend. That's amazing. Do it. So I asked all my guests, I love your readings. First of all, in your group, your readings are my favorite things. I love going and seriously, I love it so much because it just gives me a snippet of like exactly what I need for the day. So,
well, and also for me, it's a way for me to step outside of my fear. Yeah. You know, it really is. And getting on Facebook, and then you see the comments, and people are looking like, "Oh my gosh!" And you were on there once, and I thought, "Okay, is her name Monique or Monica?" I'm like, "Oh my god!" I just But so it's a way for me to really, you know, when I'm working one-on-one with people or my group coaching sessions, I'm at home. But for some reason, getting on Facebook Live. So the books and the readings were a way in, you know, for me to just like read and go, okay, maybe promote my course a little bit, but not stay on too long. And so I don't know how I found this, the She book. I think it was on Amazon. When you have your like orders, it was, I don't know, they were advertising it. So I grabbed it. And do you want me to read a little?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. And it has little passages. And it goes up to like 1 to like 107, just little snippets. So what I'm going to read to you guys today is number 8 in this book. Rejection taught her to let go of what didn't want her. Abandonment showed her how to stand on her own 2 feet. Betrayal awoke her intuition. Pain broke her heart wide open. And loneliness gave her permission to befriend herself.
So good. So good. So spot on. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate everybody listening. Again, I said I was like a little nervous. I was supposed to write down bullets last night. And you know what? I started writing a novel. Like, what? No, Laura? Like, okay. So I was like, I wanted to, you know, touch on some key points, and hopefully.
You are perfect. Everything that you said resonated with me so deeply. So I know it resonated with everybody watching. So we just want to say thank you. Thank you for spending time with us. Thank you, Lora Anne, for sharing your story. And I know it was nerve-wracking and scary, but you are needed. Your light is needed. Your story is needed. You are needed in this world to help others get through their darkness. So I am so grateful for you spending your Friday morning with us. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you for popping on. Thank you for watching the replay.
Thank you.
I will have another guest, I think, on Monday. So I'm taking the weekend off, which is awesome, but I love this. And I hope you guys are enjoying these faith talks too. Add your friends to the group so that they can benefit and get this light in their lives. And have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Bye.